Hi, I'm Kevin Tame, and welcome to The Hacktivist. Today I'm playing CT, and I'm playing against PE, and this is a core-only match. My opponent's computer was lagging a little bit during this match, and so I sped this up to 3x instead of my normal 2x. It goes a little fast at times, but I think it's okay, and I think it's a little bit better to watch in this speed. So let's jump right in, and we can talk about this match and how I played it and how my opponent played. So this is a great starting hand. I have Sure Gamble, I have Diesel, and I have Opus. This couldn't get any better, so I'm definitely going to keep this. So my opponent plays Celebrity Gift, which shows me as 2 snares and a priority requisition. I don't really want to run HQ right now. I know I'm going to have to deal with those snares eventually, and so my plan is to, in time, go and try and clear those out when I'm in a position that I can clear them out. And the strategy that I'm taking, I have played a number of games against PE, and I find there's 2 different types of PE decks. There's kind of like a glacier build where they try and rush agendas out behind ice, and then there's kind of this like shell game PE, and this is the shell game PE match. And so my plan is just to run everything. And the worst could be is traps, and I just have to prepare for them. So I drew a bunch of cards. This one I lost my Opus, but I had another Opus in hand, which is fine. So I'm able to, get that out, get that right back out. I mean, it is a tempo hit, but I also don't want him to play Trick of Lights. So I don't want him to have counters on stuff either. The reality is I'm most likely going to be hitting stuff. Here is a good example where my opponent was trying to sneak something out. I think the mistake my opponent is making is by only installing one thing, it's to my advantage because I then only have to prepare for one thing, right? To install advance, like I just have to draw 2 cards and I'm pretty good against Project Junebug. I mean, the aggressive secretary, I'm assuming my opponent doesn't have another one. They might, but I don't run this one here because I've decided I want to start dealing with the snares. I also don't want to clear the tags here because I'm not installing any resources at this point. And my opponent, I guess, could have closed accounts, but there's really not much tag punishment. So just keeping the tags is fine. So my opponent looks like is trying to set up for a remote play. So the reason I run there again is because I want to see, if there's an agenda I can steal. I don't. This is actually good for me that I've cleared out these 2 snares. Now I don't have to deal with them. And I actually have I have my breakers in hand. I have my Gordian and my battering ram. And so I'm feeling pretty good right now. So this could be a trap that my opponent is trying to play on me. This is definitely a misplay on my part because I should have foresaw that my opponent would probably normally have rezzed if it was an agenda. So you kind of got to be wary of that. If they don't res, I mean, they might not have the ice, be able to res the ice. But this one is clearly a Nisei Mark II. It's really telegraphed, I think, because since my opponent put 2 counters on there and then installed, they want to do a Trick of Light play and score this out. And I happened to have a test run, so I was able to pull out my battering ram. So that was a little bit of luck on my part, but I had to contest it. And I also knew it was a ice wall because of the fact that they had advanced it, and it was unlikely a Hadrian's wall because I don't think they can afford that. If I had let my opponent get that Nisei Mark II, it makes my job a lot harder because that ability is really strong to be able to cancel runs. It looks like my opponent is going for, it was a Neural EMP, a little disvalue one there. I don't know if that was the best play. It was probably better to try and establish their economy because they are pretty poor. And this makes it even much more difficult for them because they have 1 credit and there's not much they can do. And so I'm just going to, they can't hit me with snare again. So it's a good time to run HQ. I find that priority requisition that I knew was in there since the beginning of the game, and was able to lock that game down. I think if you know your opponents on the shell game, I think it's just best to run, honestly. Just draw up and run. Worst case scenario is you lose some pieces, but you have test runs, you have multiple copies of things. They might shut you out, but I think it's okay, because everything costs money, right? It costs them to do the snare. It costs them to do the Project Junebug. Not a lot, but it's better to, I think, keep the pressure on than allow things to sneak by you. Well, that was a good match. I haven't played much this type of PE, and so I was excited to try and play this game. I do run the risk, though, that like with 40 cards, I do run out of deck over time, and so I do have to be careful. If my opponent was able to keep putting agenda or Junebugs down, and I kept losing cards, eventually I ran out of deck, and it becomes very difficult for me to win, and I have much more risk of dying. Anyways, if you have any comments or questions about this match, please comment below or ping me on Slack, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.